Welcome to Down the Road. We're going to cover everything today from need for food assistance to tech support. There's a lot of things going on with Apple and what they've decided to do. And Arlette Preston's going to join us today, Fargo City Commissioner. But first, we begin with what is, in my personal opinion, as the grandfather of 5 girls, as the brother of 5 girls, as somebody with 2 daughters and a wife, what is an absolutely great story, which is the very first female collegiate athlete in the great state of North Dakota to sign an NIL, name, image, and likeness agreement. And that happens to be a Bison women's basketball player. Heaven Hamling joins us right now. Heaven, good to have you coming down the road with us.
Thank you. I appreciate being on here.
Way to go, way to go, way to go. First off, the Supreme Court got it right, number one. You've been making money for a whole lot of people in your life. Now you get to make money for yourself. And number 2, this says a lot about you as an athlete and most importantly as a person. How exciting was this to sign this contract?
It was really exciting just because when this whole thing went down and everything was getting passed, I would have never thought that I would have been the one to be able to sign an NIL agreement. And just the way Silver Star approached me and how good they've been to me is just really awesome. And the way they reach out and give back to the community is really just an awesome thing.
Well, I know that your focus, your major is in construction, which plays perfectly into this. But, you know, right now, you're one of the top basketball players around. And also, they like you. They're not going to sign a contract like this unless they trust the type of person you are and the type of spokesperson you're going to be. So who is Silver Star? We have to make sure we talk about them a lot because they're one of the heroes in all this.
Right, they are. And they're starting 10 new locations in Fargo. So right now they are building, so they have a lot of construction sites going on, which I'll be doing tomorrow. I'll be touring that and just kind of getting the rundown of what they're doing right now. But they have a location in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Sioux City, Iowa. So they've just been expanding their brand and their business, and they're trying to get the word out there.
So what are the rules when it comes to all of this? What are the rules? Do you contract with an agent? Did they reach out to you? I mean, how do we get to the point where you get that first email or phone call?
Right. So it all kind of happened really fast. I think July 1st was the day we all saw it on Twitter, and we just kind of went from there, and it kind of got thrown on to each university. But in order for us to do anything, we have to let our compliance officer and our head coaches know before we sign anything, talk to anyone. But they reached out to me on Instagram through a direct message, and I kind of talked to them a little bit, and then I let my compliance officer know and my head coach know. And really each school is different with their rules, so it just kind of is a go with the flow type of thing. So yeah, I just asked them, and they said the only thing that I couldn't do was wear any NDSU gear.
That's interesting, but we can go down that road a little bit later because to me you've earned the right to wear NDSU gear, and my guess is they're putting you on a lot of their likenesses. But Heaven, I've been around college athletics a lot in my life. I've refereed Division I football for a number of years, and here's the thing. You walk into the stadium, you see these great big posters, you see all the things that the college is selling with your likeness on them. The Supreme Court got this right. You've been selling products for a lot of people already in your life. It's just that you haven't enjoyed the benefit of that. What was it like to hear that the Supreme Court was going to allow you to make a buck?
It's really cool, and it's kind of a breath of fresh air, honestly, because I remember my first year of college, I was in public speaking class, and I did a report on how athletes should be paid. And I've read some articles where athletes really struggle, and they're at these big time schools, and they're barely making it through with like money issues and stuff. And it's just like, we get put on everything. We get put on social media, on newspapers, every sort of platform, and we aren't getting compensated for it. So it's just really awesome that a lot of athletes will get a lot of opportunities in the near future.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about how, when they say, Heaven, you got a free scholarship. You got the opportunity to work in construction because that scholarship came to you free. It's not free. There's a lot
Right.
that goes along with it. I want you to walk people through a typical week of what you go through as an athlete.
Yeah. So, well, we don't get Saturday, Sunday off most of the time. Like, we're there all week. I'll wake up sometimes at 4:30 in the morning for weights. Sometimes we had to send in breakfast pictures, so you got to wake up early and get your breakfast picture sent in. But yeah, some days, especially in the preseason, when you're preparing for your season, we'll be practicing 3.5 hours, and then we'll go lift weights for a couple hours, and then you're in the treatment room trying to recover from any injury that you've had. And then you do your own recovery with yourself, not your trainer, just to try to get your body right. And by that time, you have at least 8 hours spent in our facility, which it's really great that NDSU has their own academic center up there. So you can just go from athletics to school right away. So that's really cool. So you spend a lot of time in our facilities, which is really great. But then on the downside of it, you don't have time for a job. So a lot of people say, oh, you have a scholarship, that's enough. But there's no time for a job. Like, you're either in and out of the classroom or you're in our facilities, and it's just really hard to schedule. And you don't want to put businesses in that position either, to have them be like, oh, when can you work? And then it comes back, oh, I can only work this day for 2 hours, and I can't work that day. It's just really hard. You don't want to put businesses in that position.
I don't doubt it. And the scenario you gave me all the hours. You gave me how you're able to go to school, but you didn't give me the hours that are involved in academic study. I mean,
Right.
I understand the hours that you put now. I understand the hours you put into lifting, practicing, conditioning, everything that goes with it. But how many hours does school, just to make sure you're eligible to play basketball, take a typical day?
Yeah, so for me, I try to get at least a couple hours in, whether that's reading or just doing homework, but it usually comes late at night. So maybe from 8 to 10:30, or even 9 to 11, around there. Because for me, it's really hard. Just if I try to do a lot of school before practice and trying to run plays and everything, I need to focus on basketball. So if I do a lot on the front end of practice, and I might not be all there for practice one day. So I just kind of balance it, my schooling towards the evening, when I'm done with everything, just so I can have my own time to focus with that.
Having the news has been out there about a lot of big name collegiate athletes, football quarterbacks down in the southern part of our country. What did it feel like to have them knock on the door of a woman? Obviously, you've been doing public speaking. You're going to be in classrooms like my 10th grader, Tenley, and she's going to look up to you. She's going to listen to you. I mean, what did it feel like to be the first woman to do this?
It was truly a blessing because, like I said, I never would have thought that I would have been the one to sign this agreement. I definitely would have thought it would have been someone else, a male maybe, just to get things going. And it's only been a little over a month since this has been passed. So just to be one of the first ones.
Okay, we're losing your audio there a little bit, Heather, as we or Heaven, I mean, as we work through that. I want to talk a little bit about the attitude of NDSU. Have you seen a difference in the administration of NDSU in regards to, their attitude as it comes to athletes being able to I don't want to say take advantage, but be able to utilize all the work you put in? Have you seen any change whatsoever in administration of NDSU?
No, I haven't, but I think NDSU overall is just really supportive of their athletes, and I think they would like for us to get paid for or be compensated for things that we do. Especially my head coach, Jory Collins, he's really excited for this opportunity and for us to be able to be compensated for what we get to do outside of basketball.
What about your teammates? Not every teammate is going to get a contract like this. They're just not. With all due respect to your other teammates, they're going to target people like you that are going to be on the news a lot. So what about your other teammates? How are they reacting to this?
Right. I think, well, for the most part, a lot of us are really unsure of how to go about it or how you even get contacted for it. But I think it'll drive a lot of people to be better people overall, and just have that drive to be a good leader and a good teammate. And so I think once one starts going, a lot of other players will get recognized as well, and hopefully they will get to sign one in the future.
All right, well, let's get to work on your other job if we can. Silver Star, describe to me the company and why you were anxious and were able to sign with them.
Right. Well, I'm really anxious just because I get to be on a construction site tomorrow. I really enjoy hands-on projects. I like the way construction sites are run, just everything about it. And the way that they reach out, and especially for reaching out to a Fargo athlete, an NDSU athlete, is really special to me. And I'm glad that they did that just so it can give other people an opportunity as well. But they reach out to the community. They have a lot of charity things that go on within their company and their brand. So that's why I'm the most anxious to work with them.
Well, I looked up some of the stats, and I'm seeing South Dakota. I'm seeing Iowa, obviously North Dakota, where they want a footprint, 20 different locations between, and I don't want to forget Nebraska. And then you look at 200 team members that you're going to be working with. But what I noticed is they want to get bigger. They
Right.
want to get quite a bit bigger, and you as a construction major, that's got to be exciting.
Yeah, it really is, because hopefully I want to flip houses eventually once I'm all done with everything and I get a little bit older. But yeah, I would really enjoy doing or being a project manager on, let's say, a hospital or apartment building. So something big is what I would like to do, and I think starting with this is really going to help me out.
Yeah. Well, Heaven, thank you. Thank you for sharing this story, and congratulations to you. Thanks for coming down the road with us.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You bet. When we come back, Arlette Preston's going to join us. We're going to talk about some of what's going on at the Fargo City Commission. So stick around. We'll continue our trek down the road.
Howdy, folks. It's a Caroline Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Boston breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar. Sink your teeth into our famous Caroline burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spoon rattling pie with a cum roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
If you don't know what's going on in education in this country, then you don't know what's going to happen in the future of this country. And it's important. I'm Dr. Duke.
And I'm Katie.
Watch the Dr. Duke Show weekdays at 4 p.m. Central Time on Beck TV.
Hi, Hunter Ellis here for Night Hero Binoculars by Atomic Beam. These binoculars let you see anything, even in pitch black darkness. Gotcha.
The secrets are powerful wide-angle atomic beam laser that reveals objects up to 150 yards away, hidden by darkness.
During the day, Night Hero gives you 10 times magnification. And when the sun goes down, press the Night Bright button to see clearly in the dark. Light up garbage-eating critters or spot thieves before they even get close. Call or click now and get Night Hero binoculars for just $39.99. Order right now and you can double it. Plus, get our best-selling atomic beam flashlight. Just pay a separate fee. We'll even ship them to you free. This TV special offer is not available on Amazon. You can get it all, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-619-1091. That's 1-800-619-1091. Or visit bynighthero.com. That's bynighthero.com. Order now.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Almiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Elmiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Elmiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms.
This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
I've known Arlette Preston in a lot of different capacities. I've known her as a Fargo City Commissioner. I have known her as somebody I trusted to work in the medical field. And now I know her again as a Fargo City Commissioner. She joins us now. Commissioner Preston, good to have you coming down the road with us.
Thank you for inviting me. Thanks.
You bet. A lot of things going on in your community. I mean, when you first ran for the City Commission and served last time, how many people lived in Fargo?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably around 80,000 or so. So, yeah, it's almost 50% increase.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. Yeah. Think about the challenges you have, because it's still going to continue to grow. I have family down on the south end, and every time I go down there, it looks different.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, my first job, I had an apartment right here on 13th Avenue, and it was a gravel road.
Yeah, think about that.
It's crazy.
You know, when you ran for the Fargo City Commission, what were your goals? I mean, what did you intend on doing? And the second part of that question is, are you doing them?
This time around, you're talking.
Yep.
Yeah. What drew me in, the largest reason that I ran again were neighborhood issues. I've been involved in a lot of neighborhood association kind of activities, and yes, I've been able to actually get some things done. We're in the middle of getting other things done. So the core neighborhood plan is the biggest accomplishment, and that really was in play before I came on the commission. But the implementation of that plan is what I'm working hard on, and making sure that it's included in the budget so that we have some resources to help those older neighborhoods that are struggling a bit. That was the biggest reason I got involved again.
So what is it? I mean, what's the core neighborhood plan? What does it do?
So there's a lot of older homes that are starting to deteriorate because people can't afford their, probably elderly families that live in them. They can't afford to rehab them. So we have included in this budget quite a bit, a fairly good fund to provide some dollars for individuals that can't afford to do it themselves. There's also rental homes that have been converted, single-family homes that have been converted into rental. And oftentimes they're absentee landowners or property owners who are not keeping the property up. So we're hopefully going to start some kind of rental program with a greater number of inspections and people having to meet certain standards to be able to rent. Then also, just having leadership inside the neighborhood. So trying to encourage neighborhood association leadership to make it feel like a neighborhood, and activities, programming around that.
If you look at any community like yours, and like many that are city officials that are listening to you all across North Dakota, and you say, okay, what's the biggest problem that you have in your community? One of the first things they're going to mention is, first-time home buyers, that starter home.
Right.
A lot of the communities that you're talking about, my sister lives in one of those, and I don't want to say it's a bad neighborhood now, but it was a neighborhood where everybody took a lot of pride in their home.
Right.
And that's changed. You see beautiful home, certainly elderly home. Then all of a sudden there's that home that is like, they don't have a lawnmower. They don't know how to fix a window. I mean, how do you fix that?
Yeah, hopefully with some financial help that will help those individuals. Also, one of the things that we're talking about is trying to target certain blocks where there are individual homes that are starting to drag the neighborhood down, so that we are targeting our efforts better. And some of it is going to be just going and knocking on doors and saying, can we help you in any way? So getting the word out and marketing the program is going to be a challenge probably up front, but yeah, hopefully that will happen.
What burden can you put on renters? Not renters, but the individual that is renting that home. I mean, what can you do to them to say, look, that this isn't just about you making a buck. You got to keep the product up. You can't let somebody come for 6 months and let somebody come for 9 months that doesn't care long term about that property. I mean, what can you do to the individual that's renting the home?
It's interesting because oftentimes it's just the implementation of a program. Grand Forks has one, and I talked to the staff people that administer that program up there, and they said just by having the program in place, the inspections happening, it's amazing how the standard goes up, and the property owners start to take better care. So part of it is just the pressure of having the program there. Some of it certainly is the threat of, now what we're talking about here is a licensure program where you have to meet certain standards or the license gets pulled and then you can't rent. So part of it is the threat of that happening, but most of it is related to just expectations are clearly identified and people will tend to abide by it.
Okay, it's got to be said, and you knew I was going to ask you this, the Fargo City Commission seems to be completely, I would almost say, in chaos on some things. I mean, there's a stability, and I'm going to use names. I'm going to use names like John Strand and yourself and Mayor Mahoney, and at times, at times there's a mix of four of you or so that can collectively do something similar to what you're talking about.
Yep.
But when you have city commissioners flipping each other off in a meeting, as Commissioner Pepcorn did to Commissioner Gehrig, it's gotten so tense in that room that people are starting to watch it for all the wrong reasons. I mean, how do you pull that in? How do you fix that?
Yeah. Well, it's on the agenda tonight to once again, look at the code of conduct. But it's going to take more than that. And, I think part of this is the chair role, the role of the presiding officer.
Which is the mayor.
Yep, which is the mayor. He's got to use that gavel more. And if we have to recess or even adjourn and let tempers cool off, that's what we need to do. And I think it's got to be done in the moment. I think certainly any one of us can have a conversation with each other and we agree to disagree and we walk away and we're good with it. But when it gets in the heat of the moment, those behaviors have been happening. So I think that it's got to be handled right then and interrupted. And we need to just probably adjourn if we have to control some of that behavior. In the long run, I would hope that everybody would act as adults, but that hasn't been the case.
What feedback did you get? I mean, when something like this happens, you're going to get the phone calls, you're going to get everything that comes with that. What feedback did you get from the public when this made national news, which it did make national news?
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, I got a call from somebody on a DC post. I don't know what they turned it into, but they said, "Did this really happen?"
Wow.
And I said, "The video's out there. You don't have to be Dick Tracy to find the video."
Yeah, the reaction that I've been getting has been everything from "what a joke" to people being just totally appalled by it. The thing that worries me, Joel, is that it affects the credibility of the entire commission. And, if we can't act like adults up there, we shouldn't be up there.
Yeah. Last question for you. There's a lot of talk about whether or not Mayor Mahoney is termed out, having served. I don't know whether he's served 16 years or whether he's served 15 years in a couple weeks, or how this is going about. But a lot of people pointing to you as a potential mayor of Fargo. Do you think that Mayor Mahoney, as per and suggested to you by the Fargo City Attorney, is termed out because Fargo has term limits? Do you think that he's served as much time as what he can?
What I can speak, or the point that I can speak from is the conversation we had when that term limit ordinance was put in place. And the intent truly was 16 years. Granted, the language probably wasn't as clear as it needed to be, but the intent was 4 terms, 16 years. And, that's why I guess, in my mind, the only way to settle this is with an objective outside third opinion, and that being the courts. It's going to be going to the courts no matter what anyway, so let's get it decided up front, is my thought.
Do you want to be mayor?
I have been thinking of it for sure, but haven't made any decision yet.
Well, you knew I was going to ask the question.
Yeah.
Exactly. Commissioner Preston, good to have you coming down the road with us.
Thank you.
When
Thank
we
you so
come
much.
back, Apple is doing something different when it comes to their policy on access to your phone and information on your phone. Let's talk about it when we come back down the road.
Hey everybody, I'm Doug Billings, your host of The Right Side with Doug Billings on Beck News. We bring you high-profile guests, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive guests. Now, you're not going to see these guests in most of the mainstream media outlets. Another thing that I do here is give guests a platform to speak freely. You're not going to see me censor anybody. Please join us, won't you? Weeknights right here on Beck TV and online at beck.news. Cheers.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Introducing the Cool Turtle, the ultra-comfortable mask enhancer that creates a protective, cool, and breathable space between your mask and your face. Simply slide under any mask or gaiter and immediately feel the refreshing pocket of air surrounding your face. Cool Turtle's ergonomically designed soft, comfortable shell immediately reduces mask friction, allowing you to breathe and talk in a comfortable environment.
I can actually breathe. With the Cool Turtle, no more sweating.
It's like I don't even have a mask on.
Call now and get not 1, not 2, but 3 Cool Turtles for just $10. Order now and we'll send you 2 more Cool Turtles free. No fees, absolutely free. Plus, you can get a 10-pack of 4-ply face masks. Just pay a separate fee. This offer is not available on Amazon. Get the real Cool Turtle now.
Call 1-800-270-1219. That's 1-800-270-1219. Or visit getcoolturtle.com. Order now.
Seniors, are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
Maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money. So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-699-0761. 1-800-699-0761.
I'm Rick Becker from No Apologies. Welcome to your after hours oasis of sanity.
How can these people not see that they're just clowns?
We help simplify and educate you on things going on in the legislature and around the country.
Asking the hard-hitting questions.
But also having Lee Stack and Sid and Marty Croft stuff, and we've talked about that sometimes. It's bad.
Watch us weeknights at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
I don't know anyone in the world other than maybe a child abuser that is in favor of child pornography, period. We all have to acknowledge that in the beginning. Apple is coming out with a new policy when it comes to that. It plans to scan iPhone images for child porn. And it's got a lot of praise out there, and it also has some privacy concerns. Now, the next individual that we're going to speak with is an individual that is perfect to talk to about this. He's a tech expert and also very, very serious about missing and exploited children, has done a lot of work to try to protect those children. And that's Larry Magid. Larry, good to have you coming down the road with us.
It's a pleasure, and I think you set it up very well. We have to think about protecting children, of course, but we also have to think about privacy and security issues that can be impacted, sort of the unintended consequences of what is obviously a very well-meaning effort on behalf of Apple.
But before we get to the privacy issues, I want people to know of your work. I want them to know of the board that you served on and how you've worked very hard when it comes to this issue.
Yeah, well, as you know, I'm the CEO of ConnectSafely.org, which is an internet safety organization. But for about 20 years, I served on the board of directors of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which is the nation's premier agency when it comes to protecting children against all forms of exploitation, including online exploitation. So NCMEC, as it's called, is the recipient of all of the child pornography reports from all of the online services and social media companies. It's the one that does most of the education around this issue. And so obviously, as a former NCMEC board member and still an advisor to NCMEC, I feel very strongly in support of what Apple is trying to do, because clearly any distribution of child pornography, these are basically crime scenes. This is not sexual material. This is criminal activities, the exploitation, the documentation of the harming of children, in some cases very young children. So it's a horrible, horrible crime. And I applaud Apple for doing this, but I do understand some of the issues that have been raised by some of the folks in the privacy community.
I want to talk about that as well, though, the privacy community, because there's always been talk about the fact that the Apples of the world and other providers would leave your phone alone. In fact, that's been used in court cases, you know, in terms of, hey, can we have access to the phone? And the companies representing the user that they're selling the product to, they've stuck up for them. And they've made them go to court to even argue whether or not law enforcement can have access to your phone. Now, this is a real privacy issue. So when it comes to this, as somebody who is an expert, you know, in terms of being able to hack into a phone, for example, and everything else that goes with it, where do you fall? I mean, are we going down a dark road here, Larry?
You're right. Apple actually defied the FBI when it came to creating a back door to unlock the phone of the San Bernardino shooter. And I don't think, just like child pornography, none of us want to see terrorists protected either. But the issue here is that Apple claims, and I read their technical descriptions fairly carefully, that there are very, very few, like 1 in a trillion chances of somebody getting a false positive on this, that the data stays on the phone and encrypted, and there are encrypted messages that are sent up. I can't explain it, even if I mean, I can't explain it in technical terms, but I can say that Apple is bending over backwards to try to convince people that there is incredible security here and incredible protection of privacy, and it's not as if your information is going out over the open internet for anybody to exploit. Having said that, some organizations that I respect, like the Center for Democracy and Technology, are still concerned. And so I think we need to really look at what Apple is doing, how they're able to both protect children, but at the same time, not jeopardize the privacy of their users. I think Apple really wants to do the right thing here. I mean, I'm not protecting Apple. I think Apple has its faults like any other company, but I do think they're trying to do the right thing.
Is this a first step, though, down what could be a dark road to where people don't? You know, Larry, I've had things sent to me by text that were meant to be jokes, that were meant to be, you know, things that you wouldn't open up around your grandkids, you know, and all done in the form of humor. Is this something that I have to sit and worry about now that Apple is going to, you know, look at me and look at others and say, you know what, you don't have the right to do that?
You know, somebody in a previous interview said, what about the baby in the bathtub? Those are not the images that the authorities are concerned about. They're concerned about actual sexual exploitation. I mean, I'm not going to get graphic, but they're talking about stuff that would disgust everybody who's watching this show right now, and rightfully so. And so they're not going to go after that kind of material. You know, if you have naked pictures of your adults on your phone, they're not going to go after that. They're going to go after exploitation of young children. So that, I think, is probably not an issue. But I understand your point, Joel, because, you know, in 2012, I actually gave a speech in Moscow, of all places, about internet freedom, which is kind of an oxymoron to begin with. And I raised this issue because the Russians were trying to put together a bill to protect children, like anti-child pornography, which I agreed with, but they were lumping in extremism and all sorts of other political things and adult pornography and things that had nothing to do with protecting children. And I was very much opposed to that bill. Not that I had any influence over Vladimir Putin, but I made my point and got out of the country safely. But although they did cancel one of my speeches, I was supposed to do a second speech and that got canceled. Anyway, my point is that I agree that there is a slippery slope. I am not convinced that Apple is going down that slippery slope. Apple's got pretty good credentials, but I do think it's worth it for the privacy community to examine this. I don't think Apple should get a free pass. I think they should be scrutinized. But at the end of the day, my gut feeling is that Apple's going to get a pass on this one because of what they're trying to accomplish and because in the limited and secure way in which they're doing it.
Well, the consumer, the person that buys Apple, have the ability to go back to Apple and say, show me. Show me what you found interesting enough on my phone that you kept it.
Well, if there's a court case, of course, then their attorney can discovery. If there's no litigation, if nothing happens, I don't think so. I don't, again, I'm not a legal expert and my technical experience can't go into peering into what Apple's going to do on any given phone. But my sense is that only if there's some kind of legal challenge to this person, if they're arrested or charged, then of course they would have discovery.
But isn't what Apple is accessing, and believe me, I go back to how we started all this, which is I have no problem with Apple finding people abusing children and child pornography. You know, I'm just asking devil's advocate questions here, but isn't the product that I have, that I describe, the jokes, those type of things, isn't it mine? You know, in terms of I paid you for a service and so that information is mine, and because of that, I get to know whether or not you have my product.
So because I can't peer into their algorithm, and even if I could, I probably wouldn't understand it, I admit that, I can tell you what they're saying. They're saying there's like a 1 in a trillion chance of a positive. In other words, your jokes, maybe your picture of adult pornography, which is legal, none of that's going to, they claim, none of that will show up in this thing. They're looking for very specific images that have already been recorded. So what there's a database that the National Center maintains of images that they've already seen. Those images are assigned hashtags, which are basically fingerprints, codes. If one of those images shows up in your phone, an image that was actually already determined to be child pornography, then Apple might take some kind of action to obtain that and submit turn you in. But it would have to meet that threshold. So again, based on what they're saying, which is all I can tell you, the odds of that happening are essentially 1 in a trillion.
So, Larry, you're on the board of Apple. I just placed
you. I'm not on the board of Apple.
No. I just placed you there. You're on the board of Apple right now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Me and Al Gore.
Yeah, you just made a whole bunch of money. And would you vote for this?
Boy, I would probably, if I were on the board, I think I would hire some outside consultants to help me determine whether Apple is doing exactly what it's saying, and if if they could prove to me that they were really putting the privacy and security that they claim, I would vote for it. But I would do due diligence. I wouldn't just pass it without looking very closely into it.
Fair. That's a fair answer. And I just want to point out he's so good at what he does. He actually thinks that I did put him on the board of Apple.
I'm waiting for the speaker or the feed right now.
Exactly. Larry, thank you so much. Thanks for coming on with us.
Thanks so much.
Larry Magid, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, Melissa Sobolik, there's a huge need for individuals for just basic food. We're going to talk to her about that. She is with the Great Plains Food Bank. So stick around.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms.
This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
Seniors, are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
Maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money.
So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-699-0761. 1-800-699-0761.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
Go for Launch 2018 series winner. Without further ado, it is my honors. Regina. The winning team is the Flumin River Excellence.
Oh my God!
They won!
You know, I don't doubt that the job that you do is important. And I don't doubt for 1 minute that when you began the day and do whatever you do, at the end of the day, you've accomplished something. But I do want to bring this up. Melissa Sobolik gets up, and this isn't a big money job, ladies and gentlemen. This is just a dedication. This is just a lot of hard work and the type of work that can make for long, long hours. Melissa Sobolik is the one that runs the Great Plains Food Bank here in the Fargo area, and she joins us right now. Melissa, good to have you coming down the road with us.
Oh, it's good to be with you, Joel.
Yeah. I want to talk about what it is first. Let people know what the Great Plains Food Bank is.
Absolutely. So we are the one and only food bank in the state of North Dakota. We have been in existence for 38 years, and our role really is to recover surplus food and product that would otherwise go to waste, bring it into our warehouse, and make sure that the shelves of food pantries, soup kitchens, and shelters all across the state have the food that they need to do their work. On the flip side, we also do a few direct service programs like our backpack program, senior commodities, and even our mobile food pantry.
I want to get into the backpack program in just a little bit, but you know, for a lot of people who don't have to worry about it, the fridge is full, the cupboard's full, those type of things. How much food gets wasted? Do we even understand how much food would end up going in the dumpster if it didn't get used by you?
You know, it's a great question, and USDA estimates that about 27% of the food produced in this country never gets made into a meal. So So that's not your leftovers, that's not what you're throwing away off your table. If you add all of that, we're up to 40% food waste in our country. And really that is just unacceptable when we have so many people going hungry at the same time. So we really try to find that food and get it to those in need immediately. But it is shocking to think about all the food that goes to waste.
That's an amazing number to me. I'm going to go back to the 27% number. That's a lot. I mean,
it is.
That's a lot that doesn't go across the beeper at the grocery store. And how do you put that to work? Do you build individual relationships with the grocery store, or how do you make this work?
You know, we do relationships with everyone. So we're out talking with the farmers and the growers and the ranchers to make them aware that if they have any product or commodities, we can put it to use. So a lot of people donate squash, or they've had acres of corn, or if they've got wheat and it can be made into flour to get out to our people, we're chatting with them about that. We are also picking up at pretty much all retailers in the Fargo-Moorhead area, Bismarck-Mandan area, grocery stores, colleges, schools, your Sam's Clubs, your Targets, your restaurants, and anything that they have. What we're doing is picking it up, not bringing it to our warehouse, but immediately stopping at a soup kitchen who can put it into a meal tonight.
Well, not to be glib, but you must be pretty full on zucchini right now.
Always. This is the best time for zucchini. And you would be amazed. People will bring 1 or 2 in the morning, and by the afternoon, we're up to like 12 zucchini. It keeps piling up, but we'll take it.
You know what they say, nobody locks their car in August in North Dakota, so you don't come back, or everybody locks their car in August, so you don't come back and it's plumb full of zucchini.
Absolutely.
Wanted to talk a little bit about that backpack program. It's best described by you. Tell people what it is.
Well, the backpack program was set up to make sure that chronically hungry kids had food at home on the weekends. And all too often we have teachers and counselors coming to us saying, when kids are coming back to school on Monday, they're saying that they haven't eaten since Friday's school lunch. And that really is unacceptable. And so we worked with schools and districts to find a creative way to get food to those kids. And what we're able to do is on Friday afternoons, they'll get a pre-packed bag that's packed in our warehouse, full of kid-friendly foods, pop-tops, so they don't necessarily need to cook the food. They take it home in their backpack, and they can use that to feed themselves, their siblings, perhaps even their family over the weekend. And what we're seeing is kids are more likely to come to school on Fridays when they know that they're going to get their backpacks. We know that they're coming Monday, they're ready to learn, they're active, they're not worried about their tummies growling, because they can actually sit down as students and learn during the school week, which is so important.
So how do they meet the criteria? How do you know who needs to get the backpack?
You know, it's a really good question, and we at the food bank don't make that determination. So we leave that up to the schools, the counselors, the principals, the teachers. They know those kids. They know who's coming and saying they haven't eaten. They may notice that some kids are always gone on Mondays because they're sick. And so they'll reach out to the kids and to the families and see if there's a need and get that food directly to them. So no intake process. It really is up to the schools and the teachers.
See, it's my personal belief that people kind of look past that. And I'm not trying to throw any community under the bus, but when you think of Wahpeton, you think of a fairly affluent type of a community. You know, you've got a lot of beet farmers, for lack of a better way of putting it. The ag community is quite strong. A lot of people in Wahpeton get up and every weekend they find themselves on the way to Lake Country in Minnesota. And yet when you find out about the hot lunch program in Wahpeton and you look at the percentages shock you. And so this whole kind of subculture of what's going on, I'm not sure people understand it, Melissa.
No, I don't think they do. And I mean, hunger shows up very differently in our communities, and people hide it the best that they can because they're a very prideful family and we have prideful communities. But I think one of the nice things about the backpack program is we can train the teachers to look for the little things. And as soon as they notice it, they don't necessarily have to send home long paperwork for the parents to fill out. It's an automatic. If the kid needs it, let's get them fed.
Okay, a little bit of time we have left. I'm going to assume COVID wasn't good for families, people not being able to work. Am I right about this, or what? How did COVID treat your line of work?
You know, what happened immediately is we saw overnight a decline in food donations. So we're heavily reliant on donations from retailers, and as people were purchasing more, stocking their shelves, it meant that they had less to donate. So one of the first things we had to do is really flip our business model on its head and say, our first and foremost priority is getting people fed, and we're gonna have to do that in a little different way. So we ended up purchasing semi-loads of product just to make sure that we had that food to go out. And more people needed our services. So pre-COVID, we were serving about 102,000 people. Still today, we're serving about 150,000 people across North Dakota. So we know that the need is increased. We're doing our best to make sure that no one goes without food. And it has been just an interesting challenge over the last 18 months.
In the little bit of time we have left, do you have some upcoming events? Are there ways that people can help you?
Absolutely. So right now we have a really great virtual food drive, in-person food drive with all of our military services. So AMVETs, VFWs, cash-wise, you can donate food and product. And check out our Facebook page. It's Great Plains Food Bank, and you can find a lot of different opportunities that are taking place this fall.
Rewarding. That has to be the work that you do, and you've done it for a while now. Melissa, always good to talk to you. Thanks for coming down the road with us.
You bet. Thanks a lot, Joel.
Melissa Sobolik, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, some closing thoughts for you right here as we end our trek down the road.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? After all, a visit to the dentist can easily cost $2,000 or more. Well, relax. The Carefree dental card is now available in your area. Call now and we'll send your actual card at no cost today. With the Carefree dental card, you go to the dentist whenever you need and you instantly pay a lot less. Activate your card and you can start using it immediately. From exams and cleanings to more expensive procedures like crowns, dentures, even braces, they're all included with the Carefree dental card. Say you go to the dentist today without any card and your bill is, well, ouch. Wait a minute, let's try that again. You go to the dentist today and show your Carefree dental card, you save $525. The Carefree dental card is just $15.95 a month, so call now and make going to the dentist carefree.
Call 1-800-416-5739 to receive your Carefree dental card information kit. 1-800-416-5739. Call now.
I can't say enough good things about these nano hearing aids.
Real people talking about nano hearing aids.
The hearing quality is great.
Until now, hearing aids used to be too expensive for the average person. Until nano. Call now and you'll get your nano hearing aids for only $297. You'll save $100. When you buy one hearing aid, Nano will give you a second hearing aid free. Call right now.
1-800-213-3815.
Spas, etc. Yeah.
You've come to know and trust us for over 18 years with the largest selection and showroom in Western North Dakota for our beautiful Sundance spas. Plus, you can pick out your next home experience with our selection of pool tables, shuffleboards, and fun accessories.
Spas, etc. Your relaxation destination on Main and Bismarck.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm coming to you with the most important commercial that I've ever done. All of you know what MyPillow and myself have gone through in the last 5 months in my efforts to bring the truth forward. Well, it's all come down to this. I'm having a cyber symposium on August 10th, 11th, and 12th. This historical event will be live streamed 72 hours straight on my new platform, frankspeech.com. You can help by getting everybody you know to go to frankspeech.com now. To help support this Cyber Symposium event, I am offering some of the best prices ever on MyPillow products, but they're only offered at frankspeech.com. Go to frankspeech.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to receive these exclusive MyPillow offers. Thank you and God bless.
You know, it's preseason time in the NFL. There's a lot of people that are excited, myself included. Huge football fan, Viking season ticket holder, quite frankly. If you live where I live, way down in that southeast corner, I can snake through Elbow Lake, Wendell and Elbow Lake, and be in the downtown in the cities in 3 hours. It's shorter distance for me to get to the Twin Cities than it is to get to Bismarck. That being said, I don't know if I'm going to get to go to Vikings games again this year. Didn't get to go last year. We all know that because of a COVID year. Well, look what's happening. Look what's happening. We're seeing an explosion again. It's mostly in the South, but North Dakota ranks as one of the lowest states in the union in terms of people going to get vaccinated. Why? I don't get it. Why? And so you sit there, and one of the keys to the whole Vikings team right now is Kirk Cousins. I mean, this is a man that, you know, he holds the keys. You might like him, you might not like him, but he is the starting quarterback, which means everything in the NFL. I've been backing this guy forever. Every friend I have, oh God, we got to get rid of him. No, we don't have to get rid of him. He might be average, but he's better than what you can get. He won't get vaccinated. He won't get vaccinated. And so the question is why? Well, the answer is it's a private decision. It's a private decision he's making that affects a lot of people. A lot of people, their health, first off, which is the most important part. The healthcare system, which is another very important part. If you look at the individuals that are hospitalized right now, over 90% of them, and it can be upwards of 97, 98% of them have not been vaccinated. So the Kirk Cousins of the world, they're the individuals that are going to cost this season. Coach Zimmer has told them, go get vaccinated. He won't. And when it all blows up, you know what? I'm done supporting that quarterback. Good riding with you, folks.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world,